Welcome, everyone, to the Reality of Health. I wanted to make a fun episode. Nothing, too deep. Of course, if you know me at all, you know I'm going to get a little bit technical, a little deep, get into this weeds a little bit. I can't help it because I want to teach you guys the cool things to know about health stuff in the body. I mean, I find this super interesting, and I hope those of you who actually do listen to me on a regular also want to learn cool things. I mean, otherwise, why are you listening? Especially an episode that's just titled something like Healthy Tips. I mean, if you don't care about health, then you're not going to watch a video called Healthy Tips. You know what I mean? I really find the everyday details matter. So let's say you do something every day that's small for your health. Huge benefits later, right? Think about it. You did something starting when you were 17, like working out or eating right or whatever. What does that look like when you're 47? I mean, you're going to be better off. What if you take away things earlier in your life? As soon as you know you shouldn't do something, or you know that doesn't work well for you, and you just get rid of it, then as you get older, you don't have to deal with the consequences of those negative things. Yeah, that's basically how health actually works. So let's first start with I love this one. This is just fun. Putting on your shoes and socks. Erik, wow. You're getting deep now. Well, hear me out. Normally people will just sit down, right? They just get on the edge of their bed or chair or something and put their socks and shoes on, call it a day. This is an opportunity. Isn't that what they say? Take everything in life and look at it as an opportunity to grow and get better and all the other stuff. Well, this is actually a really good one, believe it or not. When you sit down, you are now creating for yourself an easy situation, a safe, a foundational, I'm not going to fall over kind of feeling. I'm in control. I'm good. But see, that's the problem. We're doing that all the time in our life, constantly. I'm going to get into another one too coming up, but you're always putting yourself in the most comfortable position, the safest thing that you can do to avoid any possible scenario or being uncomfortable or any stress or anything. What happens is you get lazy. And as you get older, that laziness turns into less proprioception of the body. I know I said I wouldn't use big words, and I don't know that many big words, but I know that one. It's your ability to know where your body is in space. What's going on? From every aspect of your body. So your brain and everything working together says, I know where I'm at. I know what's happening. I can deal with the situation. I'm in control. If you went into a completely black room, covered your ears, you had no sound, you wouldn't know where you're at. It's very disconcerting. We'll do that for 2 hours in a dark room, not hearing anything, seeing anything, no smells, no nothing, and you can really get in trouble. That's a really long-winded thing to go back to putting on your shoes and socks. But hear me out. This is an opportunity to create balance, okay? Think about it like this. Every time you sit down and put on your shoes and socks, that's easy. But what if you did it while standing up? Well, now you're forcing your body to be in balance because you're on one foot trying to put that stuff on, and you're even trying to tie your shoes. Obviously, there's certain footwear that is not going to be conducive to this. But if you did this a lot every single day, think about that over a whole lifetime of how much you've stimulated yourself to be in balance. Know this guy? Bruce Lee? Yeah, who doesn't? He said that. He said you should always put your shoes and socks on while balancing, never sitting. He says this is an opportunity to work the balance of your body for your lifetime. It's once a day, every single day. So multiply that out. I don't know how many that is. How many is that? If you live 80 years old, how many days is that? I don't know. Can't do the math. But the idea is there, right? Think about the amount of balancing and coordination you need to do that all the time, every day. You see what I'm saying? Pretty cool stuff. So this is just one ergonomic thing you can do each day. The other one that I like, and this is actually the one that stimulated this episode, believe it or not, but the other one I like is, this is just maybe a normal household. Doesn't look like my house, but maybe this is kind of normal. See where the TV is? It's high on the wall. You might say to yourself, why would you want that? Or if you're an audio video file, you would say, you never do that. It's eye level to your seating plane. Yeah, I know all about that. I love audio video. I have a history in it. But guess what? That's great for audio visual, very special circumstances. But guess what? Daily, that makes your head do this, or even this, because you might be laying on the couch. Your feet up, some popcorn. Don't eat popcorn. Don't ever eat popcorn. I don't care. I don't care if it's organic. I don't care if you used raw butter. I don't care. Don't eat popcorn. Well, maybe 2 or 3 kernels. Be fine. It's not just because I'm a carnivore. Corn is bad for you. It's just a fact. Anyway, so when you bring it up higher like this and you're sitting in this position or in front of that television, you naturally have to bring your head up a little bit. You're bringing your head up a little bit. Your eyes are going to be up a little bit. This is good. This helps to counteract everything we do in our lives, which is always this. We're always doing this, right? Maybe even your seat in your car is set up where you have your head bent forward. We're always doing that. This is one way to bring your head up and get that neck stretched out. And by the way, for some people, you spend a lot of time watching television. Really need to put your TV up higher. Just saying. So attached to that would also be text neck. That's the new thing that's going on. See his neck in relation to his upper body? This is not good. So you are, let me say this clearly so that the audio picks it up. You are in inflection. You are creating inflection in your muscles, okay? And I'll show you in a minute here how this works. But basically this, over time, not good. It causes all kinds of issues. Now, if he were to bring this up in front of his face, his head would naturally come up and be much better off. Or here's the counter argument to that. Get off the phone. Quit looking at it, right? Don't look at that darn thing unless you have to. Here's what that looks like. When you're basically at 0, your posture is good, even if you're sitting. Yeah, you're about 10 to 12 pounds. That's the weight of your head. Okay? Okay, watch. Well, now you lean forward just 15 degrees. Your head just went from 10 to 12 pounds to 27 pounds. Picture the back of your neck, your trap muscles that go from your shoulders up into the back of your head are now having to clench a little bit to hold the head up so it doesn't fall forward. Okay? Now you're at 30. Now it's at 40 pounds. Do you know how much 40 pounds is? Have you ever been to Costco and you bought a 40-pound bag of rice? Maybe even a 25-pound bag of rice or something like that? That's how much pressure is on your head. You don't notice it because you have very strong muscles, even when you're older. That's how much your head weighs at 30 degrees. Oh, look at that, 45 degrees. Now it's 50 pounds basically. And then we're at 60. How many, I'm going to call them young children and teenagers, do this? I mean, seriously. You know, every single child or teenager you know of does this all the time. Well, their head went from 10 pounds to 60. Do you think that's going to have any impact soon in their life, not just later? Well, let me show you what that looks like. This is a normal neck. This is what happens when you do this. Especially this. You reverse the curve of your neck. This is very normal. We're seeing this all the time now. The curve is gone. Now, it can also be from your work. So let's say you're at work and you're always bending over, like your ergonomics at your place of where you work, your job, right? Let's say you work at an auto plant and you're always bent over forward doing something. You're putting something together. Well, that's everyday repetitive for all those years. This is what happens. So without proper adjustments from a chiropractor or massage or exercise or learning or knowing these kinds of things, you end up with this. And then once this happens, you're in pain. Okay? So this is why health early is a good idea. Anyway, this is crazy. And I know many people, including myself, who do not have this curve. I don't have it like this, but it's basically straight. Not good. The other one you can do is start to do anything that you do while standing, do it on one leg. After a while, a couple minutes, if you can even go that long, because most people can't, maybe it's 10 seconds. Flip over to the other leg. Doing this is increasing so much proprioception in your brain. It's insane. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not easy to do. Oh, Erik, that's easy. I can do that. Well, if you can do that for a long time, you're actually very, very healthy. That means your internal central nervous system is actually pretty good. Your musculature is good. Your fascia is good. Your balance might be all right. But as you get older, it gets worse. And it gets worse fast. It's one of the indicators to know your actual biological age is be able to stand on one foot. There's many different ways to train this. There's yoga, to Tai Chi, and all kinds of things. But the basic idea is just lift your leg in all kinds of circumstances. Like when you're brushing your teeth. It's an easy one. You know, I don't recommend brushing your teeth like this unless you're a gymnast or a dancer. But for the rest of us, just lift your leg, brush your teeth. See, now you're doing two things. You're on one leg and you're having to brush your teeth. Your brain's like, what are you doing? It's like trying to, what do they do it? Like rub your stomach and tap your head at the same time or whatever. It's really difficult. Yes, it is very difficult. But the more you do things like this, the more you train your brain, you will be healthier in the central nervous system, in the brain, in the muscles, in the balance as you get older. And let me tell you, balance as you get older is extremely important. Ask anybody who's very old. They can't do many things because of balance. You know, this is a case for your children when they're young. Put them into dance, martial arts, and gymnastics. I think gymnastics is what every person should learn. It should be absolutely mandatory in all schools. That should be recess. Instead of going out and playing and getting on the swings, I think gymnastics should be it. And the reason is the absolute coordination, balance, and in control that you are in your body as you get better at gymnastics will pay dividends in the future. I'm not saying you should be a gymnast in the future. I'm simply saying using gymnastics, tumbling and standing on your hands, and standing on your hands, you know what I mean? Handstands, whatever. All the stuff that they do where they're all over the place. You create an incredibly powerful body. Incredible. We will be talking further about gymnasts and how to work out and exercise and the best things that you can do. But the idea is learn how to do things standing on one leg. I'm a big proponent of this. You could be cooking. I mean, I wouldn't do it with really precise knife work. You don't want to mess with that. But do it a lot. Anything you can think of. Brushing your hair. I mean, at work, if you're on a standing desk, just start standing on one foot. I mean, anything you can think of. You're standing in line at a grocery store. Just lift that one leg off and just stand there. And do it as long as you can and then change. You always want to do both. Don't ever just do one. Make sense? I hope it does. You could take this concept in so many different areas. By the way, this pose like this, if he wasn't brushing his teeth and his hands were straight out and his leg was straight out, standing like that one yoga pose, I forgot what it's called, that is extremely difficult. And if you can do stuff like that, you're in really good shape. And by the way, one little extra tip. If whenever you're standing on one leg, get up on the balls of your foot as well. That's when you really know if you have balance. You don't have to do it very long, but that is the pinnacle, okay? Cool stuff. Again, just these quick things just to make yourself more powerful and healthy and things you may not think about in your life. I love episodes like this. Well, the other thing you can do is don't always use your dominant hand. So let's say you're right-handed. Quit always using your right arm and hand for everything. I know you're not going to be able to write. The fine motor skills, that's different. And, cutting vegetables or something of this sort. But bigger things, like brushing your hair. How about trying to use your left arm more than your right? And this is with all things. Doesn't matter what it is. Now, if you're using something like, for example, a camera, well, a camera doesn't have, what do you call that one that's the same on both sides? Doesn't matter. The ergonomics of left and right. So you have to still do what you have to do. But in most things, it could be washing your face. I don't know. Anything you can think. Brushing your teeth. Oh, there's a good one. Don't do it with your right hand if you're right-handed. Do it with your left. The more you use your opposite side, use your opposite leg if you're always using your other leg. Use your opposite arm if you're always using your other arm. This kind of thing. What it does is it really impacts the brain and the central nervous system and the muscles. It is so good for you, and it pays dividends as you get older. Don't always use your dominant side. I could go deep on that one, and I'm not going to. Well, you're at work, or maybe you're at home in your home office, and you're going to need to, sit, because most people do. Well, we all know this is terrible for the body. What you can do is sit on an exercise ball. This I do myself, as much as I can. First of all, it takes a lot of pressure off the lower spine, which is insane amount of lower spine pressure. But notice the posture. If you sit the right way, you naturally will have to sit up straight. You just have to. You just have to. And it will create for you a daily proper posture, proper shoulders and elbows, this kind of thing. Now, if your desk is really high, obviously things are going to be different. But generally speaking, this is what you want as much as you can. Now, you don't always all day have to sit on a ball. You could sit on a chair too. Just go back and forth. But I'm telling you, this is very comfortable. If you have really bad posture, it's going to be more difficult to get used to because you're stressing muscles and fascia that you haven't used before. If you're naturally in good health, then I would just ditch the chair totally, okay? This is absolutely the best way to sit. I know you couldn't find something like this in the forest 500 years ago. So you're like, well, you would sit on a rock. Yeah, I get it. But we have things like this now. And this is amazing. And it takes so much pressure off your spine. By the way, you can also have fun with this. You didn't hear it from me. No one's around. Maybe you're by yourself. Maybe you're at home. Okay, you ready? Remember when we were kids? We had that bouncy ball with the little rubber handle. And you'd bounce down the road or the sidewalk or whatever. Why not bounce with this in place? Just bounce up and down. I'm actually serious, believe it or not. That is good for you. It's sort of the same as the trampoline, the mini trampoline for lymphatic flow, like, the rebounding. In this case, you're sitting. First of all, it feels good. Yes, I will admit to it. It feels good. It's fun. It wakes you up, gets the circulation moving. It changes your rhythm of just sitting there typing and look. It gets you out of that, okay? Super fantastic. Make sure you get a ball that's high enough and inflated enough as proper. But don't do this. This is not how you sit on an exercise ball at work, okay? This is terrible. Don't do this. The other thing you can do with the ball while at work is stretch. Whether you do a forward stretch on it or a backward stretch on it like this. If you can raise your arms like this is fantastic. Now, the further back you go changes where in your spine you're stretching out, okay? Remember, if you were sitting like this the whole time, you're in a C, this way. When you do this, you're opposite and you stretch out everything in the front of your body. All that fascia gets stretched out and relieves a lot of pain, okay? If you were to do this every single day because you were doing this every single day, I'm telling you, you would be a different human. You would feel so much better. Feet planted. The further down you go, you start getting into lower back. Although it does matter what your posture is like now. If you have great posture, yeah, you move it around. If you don't have great posture, you're going to know like, ooh, that right there is a little tough. Arms up, get the stretch in the pectorals because you're doing this all the time. Your shoulders are up, your arms are in, your pectorals become clenched, okay? And then the fascia does that too. So the more you can release that, the better. The other one you can do is at home. Stop wearing shoes in the house. You should be, don't ever wear shoes in your home. You can wear socks. You need this stimulus of the floor on your feet, in your ankles, goes all the way up, travels into your body. You go out in the world and you have to wear shoes so you don't puncture your feet, or it's dirty and it's cold and whatever. But in this way, you don't have to do this at home. There is zero need to wear shoes in your home. And the more you do this, the more you strengthen your feet. This is where the barefoot shoe, craze is going on. I've got an episode on barefoot shoes. Well, you have your own barefoot shoes connected to your ankles. It's called your foot. It works just fine. It's got skin. It protects you for the most part. I mean, this is fantastic. Get out of your shoes in your home. I'm telling you, you will love it. You'll come to crave that as soon as you get home, you take your shoes off. And for those that already do, you already know what I mean. But all those people who wear their shoes in their house or any type of shoe, terrible. Slippers, get rid of those things. Next one is fresh air. Okay. You have two opportunities to get fresh air in your dwelling and your car. That would be roll those windows down in the dwelling in the car. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to drive their car with their windows up. Why? Yet you'll go to the beach, you'll go to a park, you'll go for a walk, but then when you're in your car, you shut the windows. Why? This is a perfect opportunity to get fresh air. I only close my windows when it's raining or it's cold. Other than that, I roll down half my windows, okay? Get the fresh air. This is a perfect opportunity. Why are you closed up in your car? It's not healthy, I'm telling you. No fresh air. It's not as good. And then you're home. Open those windows. Now, if we had a view like this, like you wouldn't want to close your windows, am I right? But essentially, it's the same thing. You are just, the whole house is stuffy. Erik, it's cold outside. I've got the HVAC on, or it's hot outside. I got the air conditioning. I understand. Any opportunity where you can open it, you should. And even if it's hot or cold, sometimes it's cold outside and I open up a window near me whenever I can. Just like maybe this much. I get a little cold breeze. You're like, ooh, that's cold. But then it's gone. But I'm getting fresh air all the time. And there's a reason for this. I enjoy the different temperatures, but indoor air is terrible for you. It's terrible for everybody. This is just a quick graphic that I pulled up which is actually very good. I read the whole thing. There's so many things in your home that are degassing and putting off chemicals and toxins and everything from paint to, your hot shower and the heating and cooling ducts and carpet. And it just goes on and on. And when you close up your home all the time, it's just in there. Let it out. Open those windows. Get it out of there. Clean that air. It's wonderful. It feels good in the home. It's just a great tip for you for health. The other one is eat outside. Do you ever notice things taste pretty much better when you're outdoors? They do for me anyway. I love eating outside. Well, you could have a picnic with your friends like this. You can cook out and eat on your deck. But what about let's say you're at work. You're like, man, I'd love to eat outside. It's a nice day. Well, you can. Figure it out. If you're going to get garbage food, and unfortunately people do, stop by a park and just go eat at the park. There's picnic tables in places like that. If you have a vehicle, you could throw a little lawn chair in your trunk or your pickup truck or whatever and take that thing out at the parking lot of where you work if you wanted to. You can still eat outside. And by the way, it gets you outside. It doesn't matter if it's cold. You can still eat outside when it's cold. It's not that bad, but it's just different. And it's better for your mood and your spirit. And I don't know, there might be digestive things there going on too. But regardless, you ever notice how food just tastes better outside and it's just more fun to eat? Why not try that? Next thing you can do is a massage. When was the last time you treated yourself with a massage? I'm going to say it like this. You don't have to spend a lot on a massage. Many, if not all, the massage therapy places that you go to, you don't have to do an hour or even a half an hour. You can do a 5-minute head massage on the way home from work 3 times a week. You don't have to spend a lot of money. But this is one of the best things you can do for yourself. If you want to be healthy, it's not just your body. It's your spirit and your mind. You got to lower that stress. And guess what massage does? Massage works on pretty much your entire body. It gets you out of stress. It's wonderful for you. Now, obviously, there's lots of different type of massages. I'm not talking about the one you've always heard of either. Get your mind out of that gutter. I'm talking about all different types. Let's say you like soft, very gentle. Go for it. You like that, get in there, I want you to hurt me type of massage. Great. But take advantage of these. Maybe 3 times a month, maybe 3 times a week, if you can afford it. One of your best things in your life. And nobody gets out of a massage and goes, I wish I never did that. That was terrible. No, find somebody you like, go to them often, get to know them, they get to know you. This is wonderful. So many benefits. We will have a massage episode in the future. Trust me. This ranks as one of the things that you don't have to do anything but lay there. And then they do all the work and you get all the benefit. Just saying. Next. When was the last time you picked up a book? Erik, I read all the time. I love books. I am a reader. Well, most people aren't anymore. And when they do read, they're reading their iPad or they're reading something that, is not in a paper format. Paper is different than electronic screen. Wow, Erik, you just have the depth of knowledge and wisdom of a sage. Well, no, that's not what I mean. Screens have a flicker rate. They have a refresh rate. And it's not conducive to the human brain, your central nervous system, your sympathetic, parasympathetic. Okay? So if you read a book, there's no frequencies coming off of a book. There are no refresh rates. It is just paper. And that paper is extremely calming. Now, here's why I'm saying to read a book. If you don't normally do this, you should start doing this. Those of you who do read, maybe this will help you know why you're reading. Not only are you stimulating your brain, but you are disconnecting from EMF fields right in your hands that are right near your heart, right near your groin, right in your field, okay? There's nothing coming off of this. This is zero disadvantages. And the main thing I want to say is to make it useful or more useful. Let's say you are into nonfiction. Oh, great. Read nonfiction. I love it. It's doing wonderful things for the brain. But why not try and read something different than that? Get out of your normal reading type that you like and try something different. Here's an example. Let's say you like nonfiction a lot. Well, maybe you've always been interested in Egyptian culture. It's the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm not sure why. Get a book on Egyptian culture. Read something technical. You're going to use the same areas of your brain. You changed up what you did, makes it more interesting, and you learned more. Let's say you are like me and you read textbooks and things like that. Yeah, I read information. That's what interests me. But every time I read nonfiction, I have this dichotomy going on in my mind. You're not learning anything. But at the same token, I know I'm stimulating my brain through imagination and everything, that I go, yeah, but this has really good brain benefits. Crossword puzzles, do those. So I like the idea of books for people more than any other form of reading. And I think you will find that if you open up what you're reading about, you actually might find reading even more fun. You might not read an hour of a, textbook or, Encyclopedia Britannica, but why not open up the Britannica book, not the one online, and read about a culture or a food or a mineral or anything that you've ever wondered about. And just read that stuff for a little bit and think about it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But the benefits that reading gives you for your brain is insane. Not only does it make you smarter, it helps your brain work better, longer, actually can work on things like memory, youthfulness, ability to cognitively respond quickly when you need to. There's even benefits as far as the quality of the structure itself. I'm going to say that when you read or you do anything very stimulating to the brain, and this is part of the new biology and water mechanics of the fourth phase of water and structured water I talk about, the more energy that you use in your body, especially through ATP, the more structured water you get. And your brain has a lot of water, okay? So if the structure of your brain is correct, then the quality of your brain is correct. And guess what you don't have in the future? You have less Alzheimer's, even if you're eating carbohydrates that cause that, and dementia and all those brain problems, because the quality is better from reading. Not only did you enjoy it, but it's really good for you at the same time. So I like the idea of, as a healthy tip, of quit looking at electronic devices and read more. Facts about reading and mental health. This is a site called Cross River Therapy. They work with autistic children and people, and they know a little bit about the brain. Greater satisfaction with life can be achieved by reading for 30 minutes every week. That's just 30 minutes a week. So per day. It's like, what is it, 5 minutes? Anyway, check this out. In one study involving 294 participants, examiners concluded that people occupying their time with mentally stimulating activities such as reading are 40% less likely to experience cognitive decline in old age. That's just stimulating the brain. So if your diet is poor and you're eating garbage food and you're not taking care of yourself, at least reading can help. It's amazing. Regular reading has been shown to lower stress levels by 68%. Who's not stressed out? That would be because when you go to read, you have to use your imagination. You have to put things together. You take the puzzle pieces, and if you can't see it like a picture, then you got to create the picture in your mind. If you're reading about a technical thing, information, let's say, you're thinking about that in your mind and creating a picture. So you are stimulating your brain by reading, and you get 40% less cognitive decline and 68% less stress just by reading. Fantastic. All right. That's it for now. Already went past 30 minutes. I wanted to make this one like 20. Great, cool tips for you. Maybe we'll do other episodes in the future with more tips like this if you like this one. And I would say, if you've made it this far, thank you for, going through the whole thing. Those of you who are real hardcore listeners, put your tips in the comments. Let other people know what you do. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you as usual. Take care of yourselves.